Hi everybody, Nick's here again. I thought I'd record some more of this Devilian. It's like a Devilian video log, I suppose. A dlog. We'll call it a dlog. Yeah, at this point the actual release of the game will be out in the next day or so, so I'm pretty excited. I know with the first episode of this I was a little bit heavy on the criticism. At least I think I was, from memory. But to be fair, I am actually looking forward to playing. I'm interested to see, what changes between the beta and the full release. So it should be good, and I think it'll be fun. Just the multiplayer aspect, I think, will be quite enjoyable. So yeah, it should be good. I believe it's coming out.
You're always welcome here.
Oh, is it Friday US time? Something like that. So, yeah, within the next day or so, I think, for us in the down under part of the world. So far, I think I'm still in town. I haven't really gone anywhere yet. I'm just looking around for the initial quests. Finding my way. I think at this point I hadn't actually noticed the auto run button, so I didn't realise you could have it go to where you're supposed to be going automatically. But it's good to look around anyway, find out where all the shops are, where the different NPCs are that you're supposed to be talking to. Yeah, I didn't actually understand why these people were here. Maybe later on they have quests or something, but they seem to be just standing around with, doing nothing and not actually contributing to the story. And yeah, we should actually see some combat shortly, so that'll be good. There's a few other players hanging around.
I was expecting you.
I don't know.
Don't rush it.
They were still finding their feet as well. I'm not sure. I did notice there's some multiplayer arenas up and running. And some of them are really big, like they require 20 versus 20 teams, and only allow players of 50 and over on the levels. And yeah, I thought that was a bit interesting because the beta wasn't that up for that long, so I'd be interested to know how many players actually got to that higher level that were actually able to join the big arenas. Yeah, I don't know why sometimes you get the exclamation marks for the quests, and sometimes it's the green, like gem insignia over them. Maybe some of them are like main quests, and some of them, I'm not really sure. Okay, so see the little, like red armory looking thing? I think it's supposed to be like a monster head or something, hovering above those monsters. So that means that destroying them is part of the quest, and you'll notice that I get the defeat slick scale archers thing when I was getting rid of them. It's sort of appears in the middle of the screen though. That's basically, it shows quest progress. And see these barricades here? They're part of another quest. So the destroy slick scale palisades. Yeah, there you go. So that appears. So destroying objects like that. They're basically, you can locate them by those little icons that appear. So that guy doesn't actually have one. So that's good. You can sort of identify things just by quickly looking at your screen. And yeah, when the quests are completed, like that one was, they change on the right hand side on the quest list. You get the little orange, that thing there I'm hovering over. So some of them you can actually there's a little note there. Sometimes you can complete them remotely. You don't have to actually go back to the person. I think I like those ones the best because walking all the way back to somebody, that's just like, that can be boring as. especially when the areas. This is something actually about Devilian that I guess I liked sometimes, and I hated sometimes. Is that areas will respawn all the monsters very quickly. So if you complete a quest, don't hang around. You've got to get out of there before everything comes back. And if you're kiting a monster away into like a like a narrow area, so you have an easier chance of them or something like that, or you're just trying to give yourself time to regenerate health or something like that. Sometimes, all those minions will actually respawn, just off the screen where you were, so you've got to be pretty careful with staying in the hostile territory. And it's a good idea to get out of the way, move back to where an NPC is standing, so they're generally safe locations, like where that guy is there on the left. Generally there won't be any monsters around
You're
him.
always
So.
welcome here.
Yeah. I mean, it's good in that it doesn't affect, like, what you're doing isn't going to affect other players too much. Like, you're not going to destroy a boss monster right when someone else is coming through. They're not going to have to wait for them to respawn. They'll just come in and everything will be there. So that's good. But yeah, it can be annoying if you're the only one around and you've just finished the quest and you're just fixing up your inventory and all of a sudden everything just respawns and you've got to fight the same boss monster again. That happened to me more than once, so yeah, just something to be aware of. I don't know if they're going to change that, but I guess it's by design. They're trying to make sure that everyone has a fair chance. I think this is basically the first area where other players, like you'll find other players actually in combat as well. Because prior to this it was that cave, which is kind of like a single player thing, basically where you get your Devilian power, is that initial cave area. Okay, so now I'm just heading back to deliver that quest since I've completed it, I think. I haven't destroyed the fishing nets yet. Yeah, okay. So there's another area. The other thing you can notice on the mini-map, you can see that big sphere, or circular thing. Okay, so that's the area in which a quest is located. The arrows point to where I need to go for something else. You can see these guys on the right hand side here. They've got the icon. That's the six-scale warriors that I need to defeat. Their quest and the fishing nets quest are all in that area with the circle. So one of the circles is gone, so it's not quite as defined on the map, and then there's just one left. The minimap's pretty good. I didn't actually play with it too much. I'm hoping you can actually go to like a full screen map. I think there is a full screen map, like if you go to the portals, it opens a full screen map, but I don't know about just in general play, not sure. So the respawning thing, that happens with the like non-monster stuff as well. Like these fishing nets, if I had stayed around with the other fishing nets, eventually they would have just come back on their own. So you can actually, with things where you got to claim, I fixed 3 fishing nets, I could have just fixed the same one 3 times and it would still register for the quest. I don't know if that's really going to make it easier for anyone, because when they respawn, so do the monsters around them. So it doesn't actually help. It just means you don't have to actually walk anywhere, I guess, if you just want to stand there and be lazy. Okay, so I just learned Chain Lightning. Pretty sure at this point I hadn't actually realised I had Chain Lightning, but it's one of the 4 basic abilities of the Evoker, so there are basic abilities, and then there are abilities that you have to actually select using the skill points. Yeah, the basic ones are the lightning sphere that you get at the beginning, there's a fireball, the chain lightning, and the frost at that area, frost attack. And all the other ones that you choose with the skill points are kind of related to those ones. They're similar. Like there's a lightning area attack, and there's like a frost storm thing that you can summon, and there's other lightning ones and what have you. So I think there's a flame shuriken that you can throw, and yeah, various other things. And there's also kind of like perks where you choose them to enhance the other abilities.
Until next time.
So you might get something that increases damage on a particular thing, or that kind of stuff. So yeah. So this early in the game, I hadn't actually figured out most of the skill stuff, but yeah, I hadn't really got enough levels. So. Yeah, I also noticed there weren't too many players at this early part of the game. I'm not sure why. I think there weren't a lot of people in the beta, to be honest. I mean, there was some. Like, it wasn't like there was no one there, but just going from stuff I was reading in the chat, there was a lot of people I think not that interested because they knew it was going to be wiped. Like, if they were actually going to get to keep the characters from the beta, they probably would have stayed in it, but maybe they would do it for 5 minutes and then didn't end up playing for the rest of the time. I don't know. But I guess that's understandable. But I mean, you really don't get to look at it too much if you don't hang around. So, I didn't mind that it was being wiped. It was worth just seeing how it sort of worked. Okay, and we're back. So this is in the Shrieking Cavern, which I actually thought I'd already shown you, but apparently not. So this is where you... Basically, it's the first sort of dungeon area where you... Normally, in most dungeons, what you would do, you click on it and it gives you the option to go on by yourself or to find a party, and it looks for other people who are also trying to do that dungeon. I think it's going to work pretty well because it's the same sort of kind of system that they use in Defiance, which works pretty well. Basically there's like a queue, and it tries to match up players who are like reasonably close in level, so the experience is pretty good. But with this, with the Shrieking Cavern, I think it's designed to be a single-player event because the idea is this is where the Devilian gets their latent powers. Their your superpowers come into play after this. Pretty much, you don't have access to your Devilian powers until this happens. So that was chain lightning you saw. Just combining chain lightning with some fireballs. Yeah, as you would expect, fireballs are like an area effect, but you don't really get to see the circle for them. They basically just hit anyone nearby to the target that you attack. The chain lightning tells you basically the area that it's affecting, and it's everyone in between the two lines. If something's between the two lines, then it's going to get hit. Here we go. Okay, so I think this is a boss guy from memory. No, maybe not. No, not yet. There is a boss guy in the Shrieking Cavern, which you have to defeat in order to sort of progress through the game. I guess it's like a design gate that you need to pass. Basically, it's the end of the tutorial, pretty much. Like if you've come this far, then you know what you're doing. So we're going to let you keep doing what you're doing, and sort of learn it by yourself. You'll notice there's still arrows at this point. As far as I'm aware, this is the last place you see arrows. I think everywhere else, so trust that you know what you're doing at that point. So yeah. Now this guy we picked up, he's an NPC. He's actually one of the classes, I believe, one of the other classes. I forget what they're called, but he has the same abilities as that class. So. The NPC that we had following us around at the very beginning, that was, I believe she was an evoker, so she had similar powers to what I've got.
Can't use this.
I think I'm using Fireball a lot here because I'm sort of managing the mana a bit better. I noticed how much mana it uses, and yeah. Now that little glowy effect, I believe that's the thing that's hovering above my health bar. But basically, it's I think it's when you've yeah, I think you get it when you've been in combat. It's a bit like, I think it's like how charge works in Fortnite. Kind of thing, so you get bonuses for stuff. I think it's over the health because you get a bonus with health regen or something like that. Yeah, there's a lot of them, so I actually forget how they all work. There's a few different buffs for it. Okay, so that one went down pretty quick. Okay, so that one dropped a little, there's a little treasure box there. It's a talisman box. Talisman boxes have, as you would expect, they have talismans in them. Talismans are special items that you can put in, they've got their own inventory spot. It's like a whole talisman window, and you can have, I think, 2 at a time. Something like that, and they're all different levels and they have different effects, and so they're all very individualized, and you might choose not to go with one because another one is better, just like any other item. But they're all passive effects. So, for instance, I had one that was plus 60 to health. That's all it did. So there was no, it didn't change any way the game worked or anything like that. It was just basically 60 health, and you've got it until you get the talisman. So that was a little mini side quest there, destroying one of the portals that the devils were using to come through. There's little, things that you need to pass. Basically, there was a gate. That gate on the bridge there, I think, doesn't open until midnight. So it's just effectively it's a button. But yeah, they sort of use them to fill in story.
Wait. Not ready yet.
I think I was using my NPC a little bit. Yeah, like you get the feeling they know what they're doing. And sometimes it's, easier just to save your mana. The enemies weren't particularly difficult at this point. And Chain Lightning was pretty powerful. Now the thing with Chain Lightning, you can see the cooldown is fairly long. It's taking a while to regenerate. I think it's 20 seconds or something like that, so it's similar to the Frost attack. But yeah, because it's continuous damage, it's pretty good. As long as you don't walk away or do anything else, it's constant damage. I don't remember what the time limit is on it, but I think it goes up anyway. You can like upgrade it. So okay, yeah, this will be the boss fight. So I've just skipped forward a little bit. Not too much, only a few minutes, but yeah, you'll notice the cinematic here as you go through the gates, and you find NPC number 2. I forget his name. I call him NPC number 2. And this is the highly cliche distract all the enemies with NPC while I destroy the tower for the prison thing.
The wardens are coming.
And then, yeah. If we didn't have the other NPC there, this would be actually hard. Wasn't particularly challenging. focus your fire on that. Chain lightning it, get damage it fast, and then go to the next one. Yeah, so I think this isn't the actual boss fight I was thinking of, but this is the initial injuries one first. Like that. And then pick up your friend here. I think that completes one of the quests.
I still feel weak,
And then
but I
he
can't
joins you.
abandon my mission. Please, help me!
And away you go. Yeah, follow the arrows. Yeah, fireball's pretty cool. I don't know how much I like the arrows, because, I mean, even for a tutorial, it's not that hard to figure out where you're going and then there's only one way to go. It kind of makes you feel like you're being treated like an idiot. But yeah, I don't know. What I was doing here. I guess, oh yeah, I suppose you have to get rid of them to progress to the next arrow, don't you? The arrow doesn't appear until they go. This looks like it'll be it. Yeah, this is the boss fight. So this is basically the first dungeon boss. Now this cinematic, if you die, you have to watch that cinematic again. If you die 50 times, you have to watch that cinematic 50 times. You can't skip it. It is unskippable. Highly irritating. Alright, so you'll notice that he does those little, yeah. So that beam thing, that's the worst thing he does, basically. You've got about a second to get out of the way of the beam, otherwise it damages you instantly, and then you also take damage from the fire, like so. You notice I lost a lot of health with that one hit. The prison things, they're not really annoying, they're just annoying because when he does it, you get stuck in the fire. So, and yeah, and then you respawn. If you choose to revive in that room and keep going, you can, but he is a lot harder. I think he has more health, he does more damage. It's just more bad in every way. So I think instead of 2 bars of health, he's got 3 or something like that. It's some stupid thing. I did it a couple of times and I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. And you notice when you respawn in town, it doesn't take you back to Winbrook or whatever the initial village is. It takes you here. This is like the main city. You can get to the other place, you just got to go through that portal. But I thought, I'm here, I'll just have a look around and explore a little bit. So, it doesn't mean you can continue without doing the quest, you still have to do that quest. It's just a different thing, I guess. So it takes you back to, basically this is the main city for the region. So,
Welcome.
you get to have a look at it when you revive, or not when you sort of respawn in town. So okay, yeah, that's an Enigma box. They hold
Farewell.
special items, I believe, but you've got to be the right level to open them. So I think it's like a random chance or something like that. I don't actually remember if I ever opened that box. Maybe I forgot about it. I'm not sure. Okay, so yeah, you go back to the portal. And you jump in that, and you get the main map of the region. which you'll see in a moment. So this is the whole area. The two lit up ones are the way we have access to. So basically where I am and the starting village. And then we run back down the road to the cave.